You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
A Super Smiley Adventure is brought to you by State Farm.
I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley. I have a cat, 2 sweets, the travel kitty. I have a big girlfriend, Angel's really pretty. I have a pony and we share a big horse. We have a big yard. Yeah, we have to, of course. I have a pool. In the summer I stay cool. To a fountain, live in the mountain, live high on the hog. Need to be a spokes dog. I'm Smiley the dog. I am a mutt. I'm Smiley the dog. I'm super smiley.
Wolf and Super Smiles, welcome to a Super Smiley Adventure on Pet Life Radio, the largest pet radio network in the world. I'm Megan Blake, the pet lifestyle coach, here with my handsome co-host, 2-time shelter dog, Super Smiley, who's the ambassador of kindness for the Animal Film Festival and for State Farm, our amazing national sponsor. Both these organizations do so much for animals. State Farm has created and supports so many programs to help dogs, from personal pets to working arson dogs. And you can hear State Farm's Heather Paul on our past shows talking with us about topics that pet people need to know, like safe pet travel, bite prevention, disaster preparedness, and one of my favorite shows ever, State Farm's whimsical canine assist team that's made up of 5 elite canines who are there to simply showcase what all dogs can do for people. The canine assist team has a service dog, a war dog, Ellie the pit bull therapy dog, and Super Smiley. He's their ambassador of kindness. And you can listen to all these shows anytime here on Pet Life Radio on a Super Smiley Adventure. And you can just Google a Super Smiley Adventure or Google Super Smiley Radio, and all of our shows will come up with all those titles. So thank you, State Farm. And another group we love and have worked with for the past 2 years is the Animal Film Festival, which in its 2 short years has drawn the best of the best animal filmmakers from around the entire world, like the Dutch Parliament's Marianne Thieme with her film See the Truth. That is actually a member of Dutch Parliament, and we just salute her. And the Animal Film Festival presents funny, whimsical films, teaching films, films that awe you with the power of animals, and hard-hitting issues that we all should be aware of. And for the past 2 years, Pet Life Radio has been an official media sponsor for the Animal Film Festival, and Super Smiley has screened his films there. And the Super Smiley Project has presented its on-stage kindness presentation and Super Smiley Flash Mob for Kindness as a live humane education event. So our show today is right in the pocket in our theme of animals as healers and teachers, and animals leading us on adventures for fun, for advocacy, or inner journeys of self-discovery. So I am so honored and thrilled to welcome the director of the Animal Film Festival, Shelley Frost. Welcome, Shelley.
Hey, Megan. I'm so happy to be on your show again with Super Smiley and you. The 3rd year that you're having us back to talk about this amazing event that you have been such a critical part of, as well as our Super Smiley. So thank you again for having me.
Oh, Shelley, you are so welcome. And to you, congratulations on the unprecedented success of the Animal Film Festival. Tell us what's happened in the last 2 years. This is your 3rd year.
Well,
Tell us what's...
This is our 3rd year. And Megan, as you well know, I came up with this idea of doing the Animal Film Festival with my dear friend J.T. Novick, and we just know how many movies are out there in the world all about animals, and there's nowhere to show them in most cases. Film festivals are so difficult to get into. They're so highly competitive, and when you have a movie about an animal story, they just sometimes don't make it to the top, the cream of the crop. So it was our idea, hey, let's put together a festival that really gives animals a voice, where filmmakers who care about these stories and are putting so much hard work and energy and money into making these amazing movies, let's give them a platform and show them in one place, in one day. And that's exactly what we did 2 years ago in 2014. I'm getting away from myself. 2014 was our first Animal Film Festival. 2015, we did it again, and here we are, our 3rd year in a row, 2016. And this year is going to be the most amazing year of all, and I can't wait to tell you all about the movies, Megan.
Oh, Shelley, I am so excited. And I love everything you just said. And I love that you said you're giving animals the voice, because it's so funny that the humans are the filmmakers, but they really are speaking for the animals, for their voices. And this is a Super Smiley Adventure. Those words are very literal, because I know the animals have led these filmmakers on these adventures. And everyone listening, even if you can't fly from all around the world to attend the festival, we want to let you know about the films, about the animals that are out there in the world. And all this has been assembled through the Animal Film Festival. And Shelley, to make sure we've painted the picture here for our listeners, can you tell everybody what happens at the Animal Film Festival? What do people see when they come through your doors?
Okay, I am very happy to tell you the festival is a whole day long event we're showing 20 films starting at 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. And these movies comprise of student films, short films, feature films, about wildlife, companion animals, the human-animal bond, animal issues such as factory farms and what goes on there. We have an amazing movie called Pill Pen about the wild horses out in our federal lands who are rounded up for really no good reason, and what happens to them, and what we all must do to stop things like that from happening to these animals who really can't speak for themselves. So whether you love dogs, there's so many movies this year about dogs. And Megan, I loved what you said about how dogs are helping people. Well, we have a movie in particular about that. I'd like to tell you about it real quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Shelley, tell us. Yes, tell us.
Great. Okay, this one's called Esther Saving Castaways, and it profiles this little forlorn black lab mix who is so frightened and so terrified of her own shadow that some people at the animal shelter saw that she had a spark of potential. So they brought her into the prison system where prisoners in this particular facility take these dogs and rehabilitate them, socialize them, make them into new animals. She's a broken dog who they repair, the prisoners. And the prisoners themselves learn so much about themselves, about compassion and kindness, and they too are transformed during the process of socializing these dogs. And Esther is followed as she goes from a wreck, a trembling wreck of a dog, to meeting her prisoner who takes care of her and socializes her and loves her, to the point where she is completely rehabilitated and finds a new family. It is a film that will pull at your heartstrings, make you cry, make you smile, make you cheer. And it's all just about, again, the human-animal bond that is so incredibly powerful for both the animal and the human.
Shelley, thank you for telling that story. I am just in awe of this. And what prison system was this in? Do you remember?
You know, I think it's in Colorado because one of the women who is at the shelter, she runs an organization in Colorado, so I believe that's where it takes place.
Okay, I was asking because I've worked in the prison system in Florida with Jay King. He has an amazing program there, and I have witnessed firsthand. I've worked with the prisoners and the dogs, and I had the opportunity to interview about 30 prisoners one-on-one, and many of them were in there for life. They would say, just amazing things, like they would look right in my eyes and say, I'm going to die in here, and I know I'm going to die in here, but when I train my dog that's assigned to me and I send him out into the world, a little piece of me goes out in the world. I can't even say it without crying. I mean, it's just it's powerful what these dogs can do, because the guards can't teach them this. Their family can't teach them this. Their priests or ministers, the teachers, their mentors, but the dogs teach these lessons and give these men and women hope. It's just amazing.
It is amazing, Megan. And that brings up another movie, SMART, which stands for Specialized Mobile Animal Rescue Team, based in Los Angeles. And this is one of our feature films, and it's directed by Justin Zimmerman. And this movie is about this adrenaline-fueled team who goes out into the community and saves anything and everything, every animal possible, from a little tiny squirrel all the way up to a horse who's stuck in a canyon. They will rescue any animal who is in distress, whose life is endangered. And these people, you just want to shake their hand and give them a hug, because they are out there saving these lives that many people couldn't even understand. Why would you want to save that animal's life? What about people? You know, that's what I always hear. What about the people problem? But this team, SMART, they really risk life and limb. In fact, at one scene in the movie, the fellow who is the star is up in a tree trying to save a cat, and he literally falls out of the tree. I mean, but he wasn't going to let that little kitten stay up in the tree. He was going to save its life at all costs. And, it just shows you what lengths humans are willing to go for animals, just as what lengths animals are willing to go to humans. Megan, when I watched that movie, when it was over, I felt like, oh my gosh, I could watch animals being saved all day long.
Right,
so when you
right.
watch this movie, it just flies by. It's a wonderful film.
Shelley, again, thank you for showcasing that film and all these films.
Mm-hmm.
And already, I think you've given a huge taste of what your film festival is going to be. And Shelley, Super Smiley and I are in North Carolina right now. So this will be the first year we're going to miss the film festival. And I have to tell you, we do fancy red carpets in Beverly Hills with movie stars, but literally the Animal Film Festival in your beautiful, pristine Grass Valley, the beautiful environment. It's been one of the grand highlights of our year each year. And I'm so sorry I'm going to miss it. But I want to hear more about your organization that founded the Animal Film Festival, the Center for Animal Protection and Education. We're going to hear more about the films. And Shelley, you are in one of Super Smiley's latest films that just won 2 nominations for the Dog Writers of America Awards. We're going to have more on all that when we come back. Smiley, can you wait? Good boy.
Sit, stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Remember when you swore you'd never get married, never have 4 bedrooms and a minivan, and never have...
Twins? We're having twins?
And then never happens and becomes the things you never want to be without. For all the nevers you now want to last forever, State Farm is there to help protect them with everything from life insurance to college savings and more. And that's the difference between just having insurance and having a State Farm agent. To find a State Farm agent near you, call 1-800-STATE-FARM or visit statefarm.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
And we're back on a Super Smiley Adventure on Pet Life Radio, the largest pet radio network in the world, with the executive director of the Animal Film Festival, Shelley Frost. Welcome back, Shelley.
Hey, thank you, Megan and Super Smiley. I'm happy to be with you.
So, Shelley, I have fallen in love with some of the films that I've seen that I saw myself at the Animal Film Festival. And you just told us about 2 that were just, I feel like I've already been moved by just your explanation of them. But I've learned so many things about things that I didn't even know existed, like the Sidecar Dogs. Do you remember that movie? Can you talk about that film and that culture and maybe about some other thing that you've learned about from your new set of films?
Definitely, Megan. Thank you for remembering Sidecar Dogs, because that film we took on tour over the summer to many different cities in California. That movie was a perfect example of the human-animal bond, because here you have this subculture of people who love riding their motorcycles with sidecars, and in those sidecars are their dog companions. And these people, their lives revolve around their dogs and the adventures that they have when they drive around in the sidecars. And the stories are funny. They're tearful. Remember, one was a veteran.
I knew you were going to say this.
This one I cry every time. I watched this movie 10 times. And he talks about the young fellow, the Iraqi war vet who was killed, and he was a bomb. I guess his dog was a bomb-sniffing dog, and he rides his sidecar in honor of this young vet, and he's determined to get down to Texas to meet the young vet's family, and it's just so moving. But it just, again, shows that powerful relationship that we have with our dogs. But then moving into this year, you know, Megan, there's this one film. Oh, I so wish you were going to be here, because it's called David and Goliath, and it takes place, it's a true story reenacted. It takes place during World War II. This young Jewish man is running for his life through a forest. He's being pursued by Nazi soldiers. And he has nowhere to go. I mean, his life is over until he comes upon this German shepherd who is chained next to his doghouse, barking, barking, barking. Looks like a very scary German shepherd. The young Jewish man has no choice but to duck inside this dog house, and he's just willing to risk his life. But he can see that the dog and him, when they look into each other's eyes, there's a moment in the movie when they're staring into each other's eyes, and that dog just knows he needs to help. So the young man ducks inside the doghouse. He literally lives there for several days. The dog is quiet, He doesn't give him away. They bond over those days, and the Nazi soldiers leave, and literally the man's life was saved. True story. The elderly gentleman who was the Jewish young man is interviewed in the movie. But again, it just shows how animals, they know what we're thinking. They know what's going on. They are not little robots, and we need to respect that and to live by that, I believe. And this film shows that.
And Shelley, this was based on a true story?
True story, yes, it is. And the man is interviewed. He's since passed away, unfortunately, but George Zaverdis is the director, and he'll be at the Animal Film Festival, so we'll get to ask him all about the details.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. And once again, I'm so sorry we're not going to be there, but we're so thrilled, Shelley, that you are here sharing these stories with us. And
can I just tell you one thing that I really want to get in before we run out of time? And that is, even though you won't be here, you and Smiley and Kim and Angel will not be here this year, I wanted to let you know that we've already made a decision to give Super Smiley in absentia the Ambassador Kindness Award. So I'm going to be sending that along to you. And it's really important to us because Super Smiley is our kindness ambassador. And so, again, we will be honoring you and him with that.
Oh, Shelley, that means so much to us. Shelley, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. You don't know how much that means. So we will be there in spirit. I'll still miss seeing all the movies, but we're going to have you tell us about as many as you can, as we have time for. And thank you again for that honor. That's such an honor. And back to the film festival that you had last year. I also remember the film about the parrot. Actually, I think this might have even been the first year, who didn't just mimic, but he seemed to communicate like a human with reasoning, the ability to extrapolate concepts. He expressed preferences. Do you remember this film? Can you talk about this parrot? And
yes, that was directed by Emily Wick. It was called Life with Alex, and it was about the parrot who truly showed that he could learn and retain information and actually respond to human language, questions that were asked of him, and he responds correctly, and he understood. It wasn't just mimicking. And Emily, by the way, Megan, will be at the film festival this year because she was a judge this year, just like you, and she is going to be helping us quite a bit, leading the interviews with the filmmakers. We're going to be doing a whole session of interviewing them because these interviews will be put on the brand new Animal Film Festival channel on Roku. And I'm really excited to be announcing this.
Yes, tell us more.
I'm announcing it on your show right now that the Animal Film Festival is launching a channel on Roku so people can access all of the films from all 3 years on our Roku channel, which will be launched later in the spring. And we will have loads of content on the Roku channel, including Super Smiley's films. So I'm also very proud to announce that to you right now. So everyone tune in to the Animal Film Festival channel later in the spring on Roku.
Oh, Shelley, I am so excited to know about this. I'm so thrilled that you announced it here on our show. And I am so honored that Super Smiley's films are going to be on there as well. And you don't know how excited I am because one of my questions for you later in the show, but it's right now, is the topic is everyone can't fly to California to attend your film festival. So is there any way they could even see a trailer or read about it? And this is even better. You've got a whole channel, Shelley. Good for you.
The channel, 3 years, our third year. Yes, the film festival is growing like crazy. We've been so busy putting the Roku channel together, and we hope to launch it, like I said, later in the spring, and people can see all the films there. And then, of course, there is our website, animalfilmfestival.org, where they can see the listing of films and links to trailers and such. But yes, we finally will have a TV presence at the Animal Film Festival very soon. Yay, I know.
So smart and very well deserved and wonderful. And in the past, you've also had some animated films. And Shelley, you mentioned Smiley's movies. You are in the Super Smiley's Project latest animated film, Sharing Kindness Around the World. You made an appearance with the little donkey, and remember the pig and the goat from Cape's Rescue Sanctuary, and filmmaker James Button and Mr. Olympia Jim Morrison, the vegan bodybuilder, are in the film. Do you remember when we were running around Cape shooting our little pieces there last year?
Yes, of course I do. It was a beautiful, spectacular day, enjoying communing with nature and with the animals after such a busy day the previous day at the Film Fest.
Yes,
I'll never forget that day. It was so fun. And that movie is very cute and very funny, and I loved how it's all put together. But speaking of CAPE, Megan, should I tell your listeners a little about the organization that produces the Animal Film Festival?
Sure. Tell us about CAPE. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so the Center for Animal Protection and Education was founded almost 25 years ago, and we have a sanctuary in Grass Valley that rescues animals with special needs, and they live at the sanctuary their entire lives once they come to us. So we have a pasture with all of our burros. They're rescued from the federal lands out in Nevada. All of them have dire, horrible stories, but now they're happily living at the sanctuary. We rescued Raphael. He was a horse who was being found beaten in a street in Juarez. He was harnessed to a dilapidated cart. He had been harnessed for years. Never were the harnesses removed from his body. He was malnourished. He had sores all over his body. Kidney disease, and we were able to get him up to the sanctuary, and now he lives there quite happily with our burros. He's bonded with the burros. They play all the time. He probably has no idea what happened to him. 1 minute he's being beaten on a dusty street, and now he's living in this beautiful pasture, being fed
and
the
it is
best
beautiful.
of food.
It is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, so CAPE is a nonprofit organization, and the Animal Film Festival is a central part of what we do, and we're very, very excited that we're back in our third year. So, again, just thank you for you, Megan. You've really helped us to bring it to light and to bring it to people's attention. And so if it weren't for you, we might still be in the backwater.
I do not think that that's quite accurate, but I appreciate the compliment, Shelley. Thank you. We're friends. That's for sure. I'm your friend, and yes. I love being your friend. I can say that. Oh my gosh, I'm in North Carolina. I hear my Southern accent coming out. That is so funny. Okay. Well, but I love the stories that CAPE has with the dogs and the pigs and the goats. And this is so much fun because I was talking about Smiley's animated movie, and Mark Winter wrote the initial verse and all the music to the song. He's our executive producer here and the co-founder of Pet Life Radio. We love Mark. Hey, Mark. And yay, Mark. And Mark wrote this song to help us get our message out to the world. And I want to just say some of the words just so y'all can hear, because also the project and the words, the lyrics just got 2 nominations from the Dog Writers of America Awards, which we're so proud of that. So here are part of the words. It's listen to your pets. They'll tell you what you need. Animals will teach you if you only stop to see. You will find when you're kind, you'll get it back times 10, and a pet won't forget. You'll always have a friend. And it goes on and on with these beautiful lyrics. Mark, I wrote the second verse, and Out of Our Minds Animation Studios, who have won a BAFTA award, which is the British equivalent of an Academy Award. They did the animation for us with Smiley flying around the world and his red Super Smiley cape. And the second verse is live action, and Smiley saves an angry person from his darkened self, and that's played by a dear friend, Brent Barkley. So Shelley, thank you for your support. Thank Mark Winter, and State Farm supported this, and Brent Barkley, Out of Our Minds, and everybody, for us all bringing whatever we can do to help share this message of animals. So Shelley, talk about animals as healers and teachers. What do you think about that messaging?
Oh, well, that is key to what we do. And, that animals themselves, Megan, they are such innocence, and they don't deserve so much of what happens to them on this planet. And I know that there's so many issues in this world that need to be tackled, but when it comes to animals, they don't ask for the evils that befall them at human hands. And so what we are trying to do is just remind people that they matter, and that we just need to be aware of what their needs are. And sometimes, what I like to say to people, Megan, is, you know what? You don't have to like animals. Just leave them alone. That's all I ask. If you don't have to like, just leave them alone. Yes. And then let nature take its course. Let wildlife be. Let them, oh my gosh, Megan, can we talk about that little baby dolphin who was in Argentina, and the tourists got their hands on that baby and they passed it around and took pictures with this baby dolphin until it died. That is a classic example of humans interfering with wildlife and nature, and nothing makes my blood boil more. Leave them alone, and they will live their lives in peace and harmony and do exactly what they're supposed to do on this planet. And I can lead that into another film that we are showing, which is called This Isn't Natural.
Let's take a break right now, and let's come back, and we're going to hear about This Isn't Natural. I love this, Shelley. Your messaging is amazing. So, Smiley, can you wait? Good boy.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Franklin is part beagle and part yellow lab. He was rescued in 2010 from the streets of Los Angeles. Somebody threw him out of a car and shattered his leg. He was malnourished and emaciated. He was also shedding excessively. The vet bills, the prescriptions became increasingly expensive. And he wasn't eating. That led me to look for other food sources for Franklin, including a raw dog food diet. I found the entire recipe, which incorporated raw meat, eggs, rice, Dinovite, and Lico Chops, his omega-3 supplement, on Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com. 859-428-1000.
Now he's thriving. He's shedding much less. He never misses mealtime, and his coat is soft and shiny. Like that you guys are focusing on rescue dogs, I think every rescue deserves at least 90 days of Dinovite. 859-428-1000. Start that little pet off right. Just go to Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
State Farm, this is Andrea.
Yeah, what if I get into an accident in, say, Accident, Arkansas?
Anywhere in the U.S., State Farm has you covered.
And if I hit the only tree in Lone Pine, California?
We'll send a tow truck right over.
What if I get dinged in Denton?
North Carolina or Texas?
Both.
Then we'll send 2 trucks.
Well played.
State Farm handles more claims than any other company. Over 35,000 per day. Call 1-800-STATE-FARM and get to a better state.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, this is Lee Merriweather, and I'm on a Super Smiley Adventure. Whee!
And we're back on a Super Smiley Adventure with the Executive Director of the Animal Film Festival, Shelley Frost. Welcome back, Shelley.
Thank you, Megan. I'm so happy to be here and be talking about my favorite subject in the world.
Yes, animals. I know what that is. Animals. And Shelley, right before the break, there's so much to talk about. You're showing so many films and there's so much messaging and fabulous, fabulous things. But you were talking about if people don't like animals, they could still just leave them alone and let them be and let them thrive. And you wanted to tell us about a little 30-second film short. So what is that?
Yes, I do. This one is called This Isn't Natural. And it just shows elephants, a herd of elephants walking through the savannah, peacefully, happily, doing what elephants do. And then behind them, about 100 yards behind them, comes this other elephant balancing on a ball, struggling to keep up, balancing on this ball. And that's all it says. It just says, is that natural for this elephant to be struggling, balancing on a ball, entertaining people in a circus? No. It is not natural, and it is wrong. And an elephant should never be asked or forced to do anything like that. And it happens in circuses all over the country. And we are getting close to waking people up. Ringling Brothers says that they're going to be retiring their elephants finally next year, which is really good news. It's been a long, hard-fought battle. They'll be retiring all of their performing elephants. We want these elephants to go into sanctuaries, but at this point, Ringling is refusing to do that. But I think people are starting to understand that places like SeaWorld, remember Blackfish, that movie,
yes.
how powerful it was. People are waking up when it comes to the issue of animals used for entertainment, especially wild animals. And I'm very heartened by things like that. So this little movie is a reminder that animals do not belong in circuses or at marine parks.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Shelley. And your personal stories of rescue are also dramatic. You mentioned the little horse that you rescued, but also I remember one that had a happy ending, and it was a little donkey that had been abandoned out in the desert, and the construction workers would feed him their sandwiches. This isn't a movie. This is real life. Can you tell everybody about that little donkey you all rescued?
I'm happy to. Thank you, Megan. You met Billy. You hung out with Billy and hugged him.
I think Billy's Billy, in our movie. I have to give Billy credit. In the movie, this is Billy. Okay, so go ahead. Go ahead, tell us.
Yes, Billy was abandoned. Somebody must have trucked him out into the middle of nowhere and left him there because he's so domesticated. He's so friendly and loving. And a group of miners had stumbled across him in their work out in the desert. And so every day when they trundled out to their job, Billy would be there with them. They would feed him their lunches, and he just would love with them, and they would hug him. But then every day they would leave. They would go home at night to their families, and Billy would run after them braying. Well, and each morning they'd come back, and there he was. So they reported this little lost burro to the federal agency in charge, and luckily word got to us, the Center for Animal Protection and Education, about this abandoned burro, and of course we said, yes, we will take him. So ever since then, Billy has been living at the Cape Animal Sanctuary quite happily, and he has bonded in particular with Raphael, the rescued horse from Mexico. They must have a lot of stories to tell each other.
I bet they do have a lot of stories to tell each other. And like I mentioned, Billy is in our video too. I'm sorry, Billy, I didn't give you credit initially, but everybody, please go watch our little video. It's at supersmileyproject.org or at meganblakeofficial.com. It's also on our YouTube channel and in our kindness section. So everybody watch that, and it's going to be eventually, I guess, on the Animal Film Festival television channel. Yay! I'm so excited about that. So excited, Shelley. Thank you. And so the Animal Film Festival is so important, even though I and you we're totally immersed in the world of animals. I've learned so much from your films, and my eyes have been opened so much. Can you tell me in your words what it means to you, the film festival, and the impact that you hope it has on the world? Because this is much more than just people coming together for film, which it is that. It's a wonderful, fun, joyous celebratory day, but it's much more than that. Tell us about that.
It sure is, Megan. It sure is. And one theme that I feel is running through this year's film is the power of film. You know, I spoke with the agent for Gabriella Cowperthwaite. She's the director of Blackfish. We invited Gabriella to come to this year's festival and to speak on the power of film. Unfortunately, she's unavailable that particular weekend, but she's very interested in helping us at some point in the future. Because when people come to the Animal Film Festival, we hear back from them afterwards. I'll tell you, the following week, next week, my email box will be inundated with wonderful emails from people all about their experiences, what they've learned, and how their lives have changed. We have testimonials. In fact, I just recently put together a whole bunch of testimonials because we did a survey at a recent touring fest. And it's just amazing. People say that they learn things they never knew before, that their understanding of animals and how we can treat them differently in our lives has changed their lives. So yes, the whole intent of the Animal Film Festival was not only to inspire people and entertain people, but it was also to enlighten people. And we do it in a way that is entertaining. You know, we're not here to hit people over the head. We want people to enjoy the movies and to see how, you know, just to reaffirm their own love of their companion animals is enough. I mean, that people tell me they go home and hug their dogs after the Animal Film Festival because sometimes our dogs are a little bit in the background, and it just reminds us that they are our family members. And when, you know, you see these films and you are around people, the audience themselves, you look around and you just think, wow, I'm surrounded by people who care, people who get it. And it just inspires you to want to love your animals and maybe even do some volunteer work at an animal shelter, maybe try a vegetarian or vegan diet, maybe try those vegan shoes that you've had your eye on. Just all sorts of little ways that people make changes that benefit animals. And that's what we love hearing about afterwards.
Right. And Shelley, I think it's great that you mentioned the vegan shoes. I don't even know if everyone really knows what that term means. It simply means cruelty-free. It just means non-leather, non-animal product clothing. And I want to say that I made a commitment several years ago to this. And I do red carpets. I go out, I got to be in photographs and, you know, on television and things. It is so easy nowadays to get the cutest shoes and the cutest purses that are just made out of cloth or synthetic materials. It is like a no-brainer. It is so simple. True. So if you look at all my pictures on my Facebook, everything, I'm not wearing leather. It's just so simple.
Oh, Megan, you make my heart sing. I love that you are in the public eye and you're showing that these clothes are available and they're stylish, they're beautiful. And yeah, you're right. Nowadays, it's so easy to wear non-leather items, to eat without eating animals. I mean, it's so much easier. The products are out there galore. It doesn't take it's not too hard to find them. So thank you for saying that and for doing that, for living it, Megan.
Yeah.
Thank you for living it. That's the thing.
You're welcome. And I was going to say, and you can still look cute doing it. So there you go.
Yeah,
Okay. You mentioned that you have a touring animal film festival. Could you just talk about that a little bit? What is that?
Yeah, thank you so much. At the main Animal Film Festival that is this Saturday, we do have ballots that our audience can fill out throughout the day, grading the films that they see, first place, second, third, honorable mention. And we take those ballots and we decide which of the films we will take on tour. We can usually bring about 3 hours worth of films in our touring group. So I don't even know which films will be chosen yet for the 2016 tour, but I can tell you we've been invited to Santa Barbara, Santa Cruz, to Michigan, to New York City. Throughout 2016, we'll be bringing those films to different audiences around the country. But the audience at this Saturday's fest will make the decisions on which films will go into the tour. Last year, it was Sidecar Dogs. It was Cowspiracy. Hey, Megan, do you remember those 2 movies about the goldfish? Well, actually, one movie about the goldfish where it was raining and the little boy lost his fish. And
yes, that was amazing. Yes.
That movie scored so high, and that came with us on tour. And then there was the film about the little boy collecting garbage, and he feeds a little stray cat, and that film also went on tour. So
yes.
Whatever tickles our audience's fancy is how we decide which films go on tour.
That is wonderful, wonderful. I love that you're just hitting everything. The main festival, the touring, the television network. It's just fabulous, Shelley. And speaking of touring and more adventures, I just want to say here that Super Smiley and I just completed a Super Smiley Flash Mob Tour for Kindness, and it included a mega flash mob for kindness at the University of Georgia. The film is called A PSA for Kindness, Go Dogs, because the bulldog, that's their mascot at UGA. And that both those films can be found at supersmileyproject.org. And hopefully they're going to be on your television network too, Shelley. We're so honored.
I love that. Megan, I saw that film. I loved it. It was so good. And the young women, all expressing, a component of kindness. It was really inspirational. I love that. And it's funny. And really, you tied it in so perfectly with their mascot. It was just great.
Well, thank you, Shelley. Yes. So everybody, go check that out, supersmileyproject.org. And if you like it, please share it so we can share kindness around the world. I love doing that. And Shelley, one more time, could you please give all of our listeners the dates and your website so they can follow you and, track what you're doing?
Happy to. The third annual Animal Film Festival is this Saturday, February 27th. The doors open at 9:30. The first film starts at 10 a.m. And there are 2 intermissions during the day up until 10 o'clock at night. It looks like we're going to have a taco truck out front that will serve all vegan food.
Okay.
We're going to be presenting some awards during the day, too, this year that's a little bit different. We have the Cape Compassion Award and the Lisa Landy Dog Save Award. So, yeah, it'll be a busy day of movies throughout the day and lots of mingling with like-minded people, and there'll be plenty of dogs there, too. We'll miss Super Smiley so much. He's such a presence at the Animal Film Festival.
Thank you, Shelley.
And go to www.animalfilmfestival.org for tickets. They're $20 for all day, $10 for students and seniors.
I love that. Love this, Shelley. And I have one more film shout out before we go. We hope everybody enjoyed Hallmark's film, The Ultimate Legacy. It aired throughout this month, February, and Super Smiley and I were both in the film. We both acted with Raquel Welch, Lee Merriweather, Bo Davidson, and Glee's Michael Olivier. And you all can hear Lee Merriweather, Michael Olivier, and Bo Davidson talk about that film and working on location in Kentucky with Super Smiley here on a Super Smiley Adventure on our show page. So you can find those shows. And I want to give a big thank you and shout out to our super producer, Mark Winter, for bringing a Super Smiley Adventure out to the world. And thank you to our wonderful sponsors, State Farm, who do so much work for dogs and support us in such a big way in our work for pet stewardship, safety, and kindness by sponsoring our show here and our films, Kindness at Super Smiley and a PSA for Kindness. Go Dogs! And thank you so much, Shelley Frost. You're the Executive Director of the Animal Film Festival. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we wish you the best of luck with your festival and your tour in 2016. Shelley, good work.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you. And thank you, Super Smiley. So happy to be talking to you guys again.
And thank you also for our Ambassador of Kindness Award. What an honor. I'm just touched. I'm so touched, Shelley. We love you dearly, Shelley, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Megan.
And from all of us here at Pet Life Radio on a Super Smiley Adventure, we hope you love all your adventures with your pets. And until next time, woof and super smiles.
Let's talk pets every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.